Alright, what is going on, dudes? My name is R13, I'm your coach of your Kansas City Nidokings. Today we have our Week 9 team prep versus the Detroit Gligars, who are division rivals. It'd be really nice if we could beat them. If we beat these guys and Sharp loses his match, whoever he plays, I do not know who he plays, then we are top of the division, and then we have, if we're the top of the division, we automatically go to playoffs, which is mind-blowing after last week's horrible loss, because I had to forfeit the match because it wasn't gonna be a waste of time if I continued, but that's not important. Anyways, I'm going to explain why I'm bringing this team versus Mopman and the Detroit Gligars. I'm also sorry this video is going up later than the team preps typically go. We aren't able to have our match until Saturday afternoon, so it's pretty bad for us. Anyways, we're gonna start off here. We have Dakota. So, Dakota the Togekiss. So, looking at his team originally, when I first opened it up, I'm like, I really like Dakota for this matchup. So, the only things that I'm really scared of on his team that can actually do a pretty good amount of damage would be the T-Tar, or probably not the Gligar. I don't think the Gligar could do that much to me, and Mega Magnetric. So, those are the only Pokemon on his team that Dakota is scared of, so I'm super happy about that. Now, I am running a Super Luck set. I'm not worried too much about trying to flinch out or get the secondary effect, because Dazzling Gleam does not have a secondary effect, so I didn't really feel like putting Serene Grace on it. We're running Leftovers because I want this thing to be bulky and to be able to hit hard and survive a few hits. So Air Slash is there because it's the most powerful special stab move that Togekiss gets. It's also good for that Superior. It'll hit that Gligar hard, it'll hit the Starmie hard, it'll hit the Reuniclus hard, because typically they're physically defensive. It should hit that Porygon 2 hard, as long as he's not running, max special defense, which he might. Jellicent won't take too much damage just because it's a pretty specially defensive wall. And then Excelgor will get absolutely destroyed by it, but it'll most likely be sashed. Hitmonlee will get wrecked by it. Charizard will take a pretty good amount of damage from it. So that is just a very nice move to have on Togekiss for this matchup. Dazzling Gleam is obviously because it's the most powerful fairy stab move that Dakota gets, and it's very good against the T-Tar. That's one of the reasons I'm bringing it, because it'll wreck that T-Tar. It doesn't really hit anything else actually for any sort of super effective damage, and the Charizard does resist it. I think that's the only thing on his team that resists it, if I'm right. Yes. So the only Pokemon on his team that resists it is not the Jellicent, excuse me, but the Charizard. So not too worried about that. Excelgor can't really do anything to me because its stab is -4 times super effective, or -4 times effective against Dakota. I wasn't worried about the Excelgor to begin with because it's such a glass cannon. It's not even really a cannon, it's just super quick. Aura Sphere is a very nice move because it'll absolutely destroy the T-Tar. It'll do a fairly decent amount of damage to that Magnetric. It'll do decent damage to the Superior. Won't do very much to the Starmie or the Reuniclus. It'll do a lot of damage to that Porygon 2. Won't obviously affect the Jellicent. It'll do a fairly decent amount to Excelgor, even though it resists it. Charizard will take it fairly decently, and then Hitmonlee probably won't, because Hitmonlees aren't very defensive Pokemon. And then Roost is obviously just to get my health back if I get injured too much. So I'm running this thing to be very bulky. I'm running max special attack because I want it to hit as hard as it can. 200 in HP just so I can live a few attacks, and then special defense just a little bit more than that, even though I have a very good natural bulk and special defense. There's nothing on his team, obviously, that I'm really scared of. I mean, I'm scared of the Starmie bringing like an Ice Beam, and that's probably the only thing I'm scared of when it comes to his Pokemon and what they could carry to counter Dakota. If his Superior brings like Hidden Power or something, then that's not very good. Mega Magnetric will also do a lot of damage to me. I'm hoping to live a Volt Switch, and that's why I'm running a little bit in special defense, so that's why I'm doing that. And then Modest, because I want to hit as hard as physically possible with the Togekiss. So, pretty cool stuff. That was a pretty whirlwind thing, and I'm just trying to get some videos done before I go over and watch the Chiefs, because I want them to win. I want them to beat the Pats and go to the AFC Championship. So, this will go up after the game, so you'll know if I'm going to be super happy or not. It'll probably go up on Sunday, depending on when we have our battle. Anyways, next up is Vex, who has not been to a match since, like, I think week 2. So, it's been a long time since we brought Vex to a match, and I'm super happy we're bringing him back. But Vex does really nicely against this team. Mega Magnetric and Superior are two of the biggest things on on his team that scare me out. Also the Selgor, but I can wreck the thing with an Aqua Jet if need be. But I am running the Assault Vest because of those big special attackers that I'm scared of. X-Scissor will hit that Superior super hard. I was thinking about going Avalanche because I didn't know that it got Avalanche, but I didn't want to be knocked out. That was the thing, is that Avalanche does more if you're attacked in the same turn. But I really didn't want to risk that, so I decided to just go for X-Scissor because X-Scissor is more powerful base, so it's just very nice. That X-Scissor will obviously hit the Superior for super effective damage, the Starmie, and the Ryu Nicholas, and the T-Tar. So, 4 Pokemon take some damage from the X-Scissor. Aqua Jet is a very powerful, well, it's not super powerful, but it's a very, very nice move to have on Crawdaunt because Crawdaunt is a super, super slow Pokemon. So, I'll be able to outspeed stuff and get some priority off. I'm not sure what on his team can carry priority. I know Hitmonlee, he's probably going to have that normal gem fake out, as most of them are. The Aqua Jet will be very nice for Pokemon like the T-Tar and the Gligar, so it'll just be a very nice move to have all together. Knockoff is the move. I mean, obviously, Knockoff is a very, very nice move for Crawdaunt because it does get stabbed from it, and it's a very nice move in competitive play because you're able to knock off the item off the opposing Pokemon, which is pretty self-explanatory. So, it's really good against the Starmie, Ryu Nicholas, Jellicent. It'll hit everything on his team except for that the Tyranitar for neutral damage at the very minimum. So it's super, super, super nice to have knockoff on this team, and you see I have 2 knockoffers on the team this week. But yeah, and then Crabhammer is also very, very powerful if I do predict the switch into something else, or if I know I can live 1 hit from a certain Pokemon, then I can go for Crabhammer, dish out a ton of damage, because obviously the only things that resist that are the Starmie and the Jellicent. So very, very, in the Superior, excuse me, but very good stuff. And I have something to counter that Superior anyway, and the Starmie and the Jellicent. So Crawdaunt is a very, very useful Pokemon to have in this situation. Now, as you see, we're running a different bulky set. We're running an Assault Vest, which is, I think, the last kind of set that I ran on Crawdaunt the last time I brought it to a match, which I believe was against Ariadon. I could be wrong, could have been week 3, but it's only been to 2 matches, I believe. I can actually check and see how many matches it's been to. It has only been to 2 matches, so I was indeed correct about that. I'm running max attack because I want to do as much damage as physically possible, because I just want to freaking wreck stuff, just punch a bunch of holes in his team. I'm running an Adamant Nature, obviously, to do even more damage. 372 attack is not bad, considering I have no choice band or anything like that. And then I'm running 200 in HP and then 56 in special defense because it's got an abysmal special defense stat, and I'm hoping with the special defense and HP investment it can live 1 hit from 1 non-stab hit from a Pokemon. Like Mega Manectric or Superior, they're absolutely going to destroy this thing if this swaps in on them. And then obviously I'm not running any in physical defense because I'm not really scared of any of his physical attackers when it comes to Vex, but I am scared of a lot of his special attackers. So Assault Vest and special defense boost should hopefully help me live 1 move, maybe, possibly, you never know. That's just my goal for that, and yeah, so that is why we're bringing Vex. And Casper coming to hurt to his first match in a couple weeks. Actually, it's been a long time. I think she's only been, excuse me, I don't know why I called her she. He has been to only 3 matches, I believe. So, I don't really feel like checking because I'd rather just talk about why I'm bringing what I am. So, I'm bringing a very, very typical Umbreon set, and I hate to do that, but I really wanted to bring Casper, because I really had nothing else on my team, except for the Pokemon that I put in this team, that would be really useful against his. So I decided to just bring a stall Pokemon, just to, you know, like wreck face and not be super worried about it. So Foul Play is a very nice move because it's stab, it's also base 95, which is super awesome. It hits every one of its Pokemon but the Tyranitar for neutral damage, and the Hitmonlee, excuse me. I forgot to mention that a Knockoff. Knockoff is not very effective against the Hitmonlee. It's just a very nice move to have on it. It'll do a fairly decent damage to everything. Wish, I'm running a Wish Toxic Protect, so Toxic, and then if I'm low on health, Wish, and then Protect to get that Wish, so I can just stall. And that's kind of the thing. I hate being a stall Pokemon, but I really wanted to bring that because I haven't brought Umbreon in a while, and I have never brought one of these kind of Umbreons to a match, so I'm super, super, super excited to use this thing. So very, very good stuff. Yeah, so it's just a typical Umbreon set, and that's why Nappy hates Umbreons, just because of this set and UU. But I absolutely adore Umbreon. Umbreon's one of my favorite Pokemon. I have a plushie up there, but that's not important. So, I'm running max HP because I just want to be able to live some hits, because I'm not really scared. Nothing on this team really scares me out, except for the Excelgor. But Excelgor, I can live. I can live a Bug Buzz. I'm 90% sure. I can live one, I think, if he's not Specs, just because of my natural bulk and how much I'm running in special defense anyway. But pretty cool stuff. I'm running an Adamant Nature just because I'm running Foul Play rather than any special Dark type move. So, just to do more damage. And then 56 in defense, just so I can live a couple physical attacks better, maybe from that T-Tar or the Gligar, because he doesn't have very many physical attackers on the team. I think, obviously, him only, Gligar and T-Tar would be the only ones. Charizard can be a physical attacker, but he's only got like 3 on his team, which is very, very nice. So I'm not really super worried about physical investment. And then I'm putting 200 in special defense just because I want to freaking just sit in there against some special attackers, not worry about it, and getting up some very, very nice moves. So I decided not to run Heal Bell. I could have run Heal Bell, but I didn't really feel like it in this sitch, so this is why we're running our Stolly Casper. Next, we have our Mega Pinsir Ravager. Now, Ravager's been to so many of our matches because he's such a useful Mega. I love him. I love Mega Pinsir. It's such a good Pokemon. The moves that we're running on it are Earthquake, Quick Attack, Rock Slide, and Knockoff. So this is the other knockoff Pokemon that I am bringing. Obviously, you had to kind of expect it because Casper can't learn it, neither can Pertra or Rosbuton. So, I mean, Ravager is the only one who can learn it. Pretty cool stuff. So, E-Quake is for Pokemon such as that, you know, the T-Tar if he swaps it in, because this thing can't do too much damage to T-Tar, so the Earthquake is really just for that. And then, I believe the Earthquake, oh yeah, and the Mega Manectric, because none of my other moves do a lot of damage to that Mega Manectric, and I hopefully just want to wreck that thing, because that's pretty much his main threat, and the T-Tar can be pretty irritating, but that's not that important. Quick Attack is obviously, just because it's a very, very quick move, obviously. I can get that priority on Pokemon such as the Hitmonlee, the Serperior. It'll do a ton of damage to both of those. I think it'll one-shot all of them. Excelgor will one-shot, but he's most likely going to be sashed because most of Excelgors are, if he brings it even. Rock Slide is definitely for that Charizard because nothing else really takes any damage besides that Excelgor, but the Excelgor is not very important. The Rock Slide is just to absolutely destroy Charizard. I decided to go for Rock Slide over Stone Edge just because it has more accuracy than that, and it'll still one-shot a Charizard. 4 times super effective from a Mega Pinsir, and as you see, 449 attack. It's just gonna absolutely destroy shit. And then Knockoff is once again because a good amount of his Pokemon, except for the T-Tar and Hitmonlee, are the only things that take not very effective damage from, and it does super effective damage to a couple of his Pokemon. It also knock off the items. Obviously, I don't know why I'm repeating that, but it's just a very nice move to have because a lot of his Pokemon do take fairly decent damage from it, which is very, very nice. Especially like the Jellicent. The Jellicent's probably one of the reasons I'm running knockoff on this thing as well, just so I can hit that super hard because I'm not. I mean, it's kind of a wall. And so as you see, we're running max physical attack with an Adamant Nature, which boosts my attack to an astounding 449 physical attack. So obviously that Charizard is going to get one shot by the Rock Slide. So it's freaking absurd. I don't remember it gets if we're doing 50 or 100 when it comes to the battle. Maybe it's 50, maybe it's 100. I don't really care. Either way, it's still Mega Pinsir's got an absurd amount of physical attack, so it's just gonna wreck lives when it comes into the battle. And then we're running max speed, obviously, because the things I'm not gonna outspeed are the Serperior and the Hitmonlee most likely, and the Excelgor. There's no way. I think it's one of the highest base speed Pokemon in the game, second to only Electrode. I could be wrong about that, but they have just absurd speed stats, so I'm not even worried about outspeeding that. So Ravager is going to be very, very nice in this matchup. Next, we have Pertra, who is coming. I think he has been to every match so far since I added him to the team, which is very, very nice. So we're running a special one this time because it has a much better special moveset. And even though I'm still kind of running the same sort of typing that I did last week, the Iron Head and Outrage, neither of them do very much damage, such as none of his Pokemon take any sort of super effective damage from it, so I don't really need to worry about that. So I decided to go special just because Hydro Pump does a lot of damage to his team. Starmie and Jellicent are the only ones who do resist that, and the Serperior, excuse me. Ice Beam is for that Serperior. If he does send that in, thinking he's going to be okay, it's just going to wreck it up. If I get Focus Energy, Ice Beam, I believe Crit Ice Beam should one-shot it, especially when I have max special attack and a modest nature, so very, very, very good stuff. Dragon Pulse is just a very nice stab move. Nothing on his team actually resists it, which is very good stuff for me. So, that's one of the reasons that I'm running Dragon Pulse on. I decided not to go Draco because I'm running Scope Lens and whatnot. I just don't want to deal with that, so that is why we are doing that. And then, obviously, see, we're running max HP and max special attack, and then 4 in special defense, just because he's got more special attackers than he does physical attackers. And I mean, this thing is just going to be a powerhouse. It's going to be very, very key to the match, and I'm very happy that we are bringing it. It's also just, it's going to be kind of bulky enough to sit in there and take a few attacks. Nothing, I don't think he really carries anything on his team. I think Reuniclus can have Dazzling Gleam as well as Starmie, so I think he does have a couple of moves that he can do that are super effective against Perdra, but I will be able to live one because they're obviously not stabbed. So that is why we're running what we are on Perdra. I very much enjoy Perdra. Scope Lens, Sniper, Focus Energy. It's just absurd. So, and finally we are bringing Rosbuton. I don't believe I brought her last week. I could be wrong about that, but I don't believe she came last week. We're running another Assault Vest Roserade. So, as you see the moves we are running Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Dazzling Gleam, and Shadow Ball. So, Giga Drain is obviously because it's a very, very nice stab move for Rosbuton. It'll get my HP back if I'm low. It'll do a lot of damage, obviously, to the Jellicent and the Starmie because it is super effective. It'll hit the T-Dar for super effective damage. Gligar will take neutral damage, and they're better physical attackers, or better physical defenders, excuse me, so it'll take a lot of damage from that. It's also a very nice stab move. Serperior and Selgor and Charizard are the only ones who do resist that, so I'm not super worried about them because I have, like, moves like Sludge Bomb, Dazzling Gleam, and Shadow Ball. I'm just running a very, very powerful set. So Sludge Bomb is obviously because it's the strongest poison type stab move that Rosbuton gets. Super effective against the Serperior. It'll hit everything on his team but the Gligar and T-Tar and the Jellicent for super effective damage. So it'll be a very, very nice move to have in that situation because it'll do pretty good amount of damage and it has a chance to poison. So if it can poison stuff, if it can poison the Pokemon that are not very effective, that are not super affected by it, that'll be very, very nice. Now, Dazzling Gleam, I didn't really know what to run because obviously since I'm running a Soul Vest, I'm not super worried about any sort of, you know, I'm not trying to do any status moves. Dazzling Gleam does hit the T-Tar and the Hitmonlee for super effective damage, so that's kind of the reason that I'm running that. And only Charizard, I believe, on his team does resist the Dazzling Gleam, so it's pretty nice. And then Shadow Ball is obviously for the Jellicent and the Starmie and the Reuniclus, just because I want to hit a couple of those who can kind of wall me out, just do a lot of damage to them. And as you see, we're running a kind of a weird set. We're running max special attack, so this thing is going to be very, very hard hitting. And then we're running 204 HP just so I can live a couple more hits. And then obviously we're running the last couple in we're running 52 in special defense, or excuse me, physical defense, because we do have the Assault Vest and a much better special defense stat, and that's why we're running that. And we're also running Modest so I can just hit harder. Anyways, guys, that is the team we are bringing for the Detroit Gligars. I really hope we can beat them. I really want to beat them, just because if we can come back from that horrible 5-0, technical 5-0 loss that we had against the Denver Rapidash last week, that'd be super, super nice. So I really want to beat these guys. I'm also really nervous for the battle, but at the same time, he is on a 6-game losing streak, so hopefully we can push that to 7. Hopefully we can go up to 4 and 5 and take the lead in our division. That would be super nice. But these guys are division rivals, so that makes me even want to beat him more. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, so appreciate it. Make sure if you want to pick up your Kansas City Nidokings merch, link's always in the description below. Anyways, yes. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody, and let's go Nidokings!